Howdy, everyone. My name's Kurt Ozan.
I'm Nicky T.
And I'm Jason Cross.
And we are here for the Rowdy podcast. We got the surf sides out.
Cheers, boys.
Let's go surfing, boys.
Let's surf.
True. Let's go siding. No, it doesn't work.
Dangerous, right?
That slaps.
Yeah, dude.
You want to try the lemonade?
No, dude. You can put them together.
Well, they have those too.
Okay.
Yeah, we just don't have them here.
There's also a peach one.
Yeah, peach lemonade, raspberry. They're very good.
There's raspberry?
Those are easy, man.
Yeah, that's
Like
the dangerous
Sunday morning, brother.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they're not carbonated.
Yes, that's why they're great.
Yep.
They feel like a cup of tea or lemonade that you had at the house. Honestly, also poured over ice, great.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's enough of us
You can
branding
crush
the
some
surf
pills
side.
in there. And put some needles in there.
That's
great,
enough
too.
for you, Surfside. We
Yeah.
got you, okay?
But dude, thanks for hopping on the pod.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, this is
It's
great.
like we haven't had you on the pod before. Have you been on Matt's?
No, is that in the round, right?
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
not.
So welcome.
I think the last podcast I did was with Trey Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
been a
yeah.
while. I mean, I think that was probably about 2 years ago.
Crazy.
Yeah, I've been around one since, but this is, if I was going to make a comeback on the pods, this is it.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, bro.
Ray's Rowdy.
Appreciate it.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's not many more Ray's Rowdy dudes than you, honestly.
Thank you.
Like, you are the brand of, like, having fun, very good, and, like, just everybody wants to hang out with you and have a good time. And that's, like, kind of what we like to be.
It just comes natural, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I live for. And I just, you know, I start thinking to myself, maybe I should start writing, like, serious songs. I'm like, no, let's do another drinking song.
Well, I mean, it depends on your demo. So a
Yeah.
lot of the shows that you play like cool beach vibe shows, and you're
Lake
from
shows
Michigan.
and- yeah, for
you're
sure.
from Michigan, so like, bro, like I love seeing you on your socials, you playing to a fucking crowd of boats and like just amazingness. And
That was so the 4th of July Wolf Lake Bash is what we call it. My
Yeah.
parents have a place on Wolf Lake in Napoleon, Michigan, super small town.
yeah,
And this was our 5th year that we did it this
So
year,
cool.
5th annual. It might be the last.
yeah.
It's starting to get a little
Did you
out
guys
of
burn
hand.
it to the ground too heavy?
Dude,
Yeah.
honestly, it's becoming like a thing that, you know, everybody knows about it now. So
Yeah.
you're kind of starting to get like
I'm
that.
already on Zillow looking up real estate.
Yeah.
And dude, that's the thing too, is it's like it's starting to, it was just this kind of like quaint little lake, and it's become like people are just buying up these houses, and it's starting to get to the point where everybody knows that it, like, that's the place to be for the 4th of July. So then you're getting some riffraff in there a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Like there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a fight this year. There's never been a fight
No.
before. Yeah, and it was just like, all right, well, it's kind of like if anything bad were to happen, it
Yeah.
would totally come back on my name.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
And it's just something that, like, I started this. I don't get paid for it. I
Right.
did it as like a fun thing that I like love to do
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Right.
Because I love this country and I
Yeah.
just love the people that
the
love it
greatest
as
one.
much as I do.
Yeah.
And that's what it is just like the energy of that was like, dude, everybody there is just like, America.
Yeah.
They're like, yes, we are.
Bingo.
We're screaming courtesy of the red, white, and blue. There's a moment where I just like don't play guitar and just acapella the national anthem, and we all like one year an eagle flew over as we were singing
Well, they knew
the
what you were
national
doing.
anthem. It was insane. They knew, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just they got the vibe. They got the they got the invite.
Well, we'll have
Send it
to,
out to the nest.
not tell anyone and do it on not the 4th of July, but I want to go to one of those.
Yeah,
it looks
same.
elite.
So I'm kind of thinking there's a way to do it, and we've been talking about doing like a full band thing, like offshore.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That might be the move.
Yeah, but you know, then it's like then you got to think about like liability and stuff. It's
Yes.
just gotten to that point.
Yeah.
It's like we had probably like 1,100 people at the sandbar this
So
year, which was
crazy,
insane. But you know,
The pictures from it are electric. I saw them and I was like, I want to be right there right now. I can't imagine any other place that I'd rather be than at that spot right now.
right?
Looks
And dude, I'll tell
insane.
you, one year, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it got so much hate because people were just like, "Oh, I bet that water's so dirty, people pissing in there." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's a lake. Like,
Yeah.
what
Dude,
you?"
fish piss in lakes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm drinking water right now. Who cares? I'm trying to find some content
They're just
here.
mad they couldn't go.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Well, and it's one of those things too.
there it is.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
It's so awesome. Like in my head, summers in Michigan, that's the like peak of it.
That is.
You
It
know?
really is. And that for us,
So much water there.
You know, my girlfriend Corinne and I, we
Yeah.
we grew up like 20 minutes from each other,
Mm-hmm.
so she gets it, and that's kind of like one thing that I love about being with her is that she's just she's home to me.
Yeah.
You know, she gets it, and it's
Yeah.
like we take that. We were back home for like 12 days, and that is I do that every year, because it's just like that's peak. That's like you
Reset.
said, like that's
Yeah.
it, dude. And that's if I'm gonna take some time off, like that's gonna be it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Midwest in general is amazing. I love it. I love the people because there aren't a lot of fights. Everybody is
No.
partying, but they're having fun doing
That
it.
Midwest politeness, dude.
Yes.
It's a real thing. It's like you
Yes.
got your Southern hospitality,
Yep.
and then your Midwest politeness. Like
Yep.
everybody's waving at each other and smiling, and yeah, it's just I don't. And it's like it's crazy because you think like how can these people be so happy when they live through 6 months of absolute winter hell? Because I mean,
Makes them
but we
happy
find
when
shit
it
to do.
isn't.
We find shit to do.
Yeah.
Like drink.
Yeah.
And
Like delicious
and
beers.
Snowmobile. And
Yeah.
Like,
I've never
people in the South are
snowmobiled.
like, what's snowmobiling?
Yeah. Well, I've never snowmobiled even from Pittsburgh. My buddy had a snowmobile for a while, but we would do quads in the snow, you know.
sure.
Because you can use the quad when it's not snowy too.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's the great vehicle.
Man,
that you
people
can do
think
both.
Michigan, they automatically think Detroit.
Yeah.
And like city and
Oh, yeah.
just like crime and
But
it's
that's
like, dude,
not
that's
it.
literally every state in this
Like
Yes.
country
New
has.
Jersey's like the Garden State, but you
Yeah.
just think of the highway.
Yeah,
Or the
and like
freeway or whatever.
Pittsburgh is you don't even think about Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. You often think about Philly because it's the bigger
Right.
city, you
Yeah.
know. So you think about Pennsylvania, Philly. I'm like, what they say about Pennsylvania is it's Philly and Pittsburgh and Kentucky in between, you know, because
Yeah.
it's rural and there's rural people and
It's
that's how they
beautiful
live.
too.
Yeah,
Beautiful countryside.
the mountains.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's what I was getting ready to say about Michigan is like people have no idea, dude. The whole West Coast, like Lake Michigan coast, you get up in the UP. The UP is like a whole different planet.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. It's like you don't even. I mean,
It's like Canada.
it
Yeah.
really is.
But
Yeah. I
more
mean,
free.
you're right there. The people who even talk like they're in Canada.
Yeah.
You get that Yooper accent
Oh,
going.
yeah.
Dude, it's nuts.
It's crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like I haven't been extensively until we've gone to these tailgate and tall boys in Michigan. So
When-
like
is this the first year? Did they do it last year?
last year they did it as well. I think they did it the 1 or 2 years before that too.
Okay.
But each one's getting a little bigger. So like they
Yes.
started small, figured out what kind of demo they have, right? Like who
Right.
they're trying to target. Then they were like, okay, we can grow this slightly bigger.
Well, especially because it's the weekend after Faster Horses.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you wonder how many people are gonna be able to do both.
Yes.
Is it a 1 day?
It's a 2-day.
Okay.
And that's the other thing too that I think they do a good job of is they don't just book country acts.
Yes.
Like they have Charlie XCX is one of the like
sick.
headliners on this
Kind of
one.
mix it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
and they have Jesse Murph, which is like country adjacent, but it's not like firmly country.
For sure.
So I think that's like a good way.
Jelly Roll being the headliner
Yes.
this year. That's
yeah,
perfect.
which is sick.
Yep.
Dude, Jelly, when we saw him in Bloomington last year, which again, like Bloomington, Illinois, Michigan, relatively the same demo of people.
Definitely.
Right? Like
Yeah. Wisconsin,
yes,
all that.
all those people are
sure.
the same kind of people.
Yep.
He slayed so hard in Bloomington. Yeah. Like the crowd was insane for it. And I was like, oh crap, like this is a moment.
Well, you know, like Hardy always,
Mm-hmm.
he was at Faster Horses this weekend headlining.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you'll see on his post, like, he doesn't always play a show and then be like, this is my favorite thing ever. I love you guys. And he
Yeah.
said that. And I was
I
like,
read that same post. Yeah.
yeah. And I commented and I was just like, making me proud of my home state, dude. I
Yes.
love that. And it's like, and I think Faster Horses in Michigan and Country Thunder in Wisconsin are very similar. And along with Tailgates and Tall Boys in Illinois,
Yeah.
like anything up there, country concert
In
in
Ohio?
yes.
Yep.
It's like, dude, these people are rowdy. And you don't think
Yes.
about it. Like, you don't think that there's so many country fans up there.
Yes.
But man, they are. And they're just like, that's the thing. I've always said, if you grow up in the South, you are born into just liking country music
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Really, it's just part of
Culturally
the
part of
yeah,
this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're up north and you like country music, it's because you seeked it out and you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like you went and you decided that you
Yep.
love this shit. Like,
Yep.
and so that makes just some like hardcore fans, and especially you throw the rock mix in there. I mean, that's kind of where my sound came from. It's
Absolutely.
Like, I grew up on rock and roll, but like grandpa shoot horses and worked for Ford and wore pearl snaps and did the rodeo, and he listened to Alan Jackson and Randy Travis and
Yep.
Waylon, and I was like, that was my little, you know, pinch of country in there. And
Yep.
so I've been influenced by
Both
all
of
of
those.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like right now more than ever, we just did a video I did on it. It's like the country and rock scene are together now.
Hardcore.
Because rock radio, if you're listening to traditional rock radio,
Yeah.
it's mostly heritage acts.
Right.
Right. It's not a lot of new exploratory rock.
Nope.
And if it is, it's like Chevelle put out a new song. We're gonna play it. You know,
Stained.
Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they picked one off of Stain's new album.
yes,
and,
which is still great music. You know, I'm not
in.
putting that down, but it's like the exploratory rock music now lives in the country overlap
For sure.
which is cool.
I love it.
I do too, man.
Some people hate it, and I'm just like, dude, grow up, man.
Well, if someone,
Look
if
at Hardy
nobody,
just headlining the whole fucking festival.
yeah, and
Right.
if nobody hates it,
Most
you're not
people.
pushing hard enough.
Right.
You know,
Right.
If everybody likes every single thing you do, you're not getting enough eyes on it.
No.
You know, because there's so many people that just don't like things.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
if you're getting enough viewership on yourself, there's gonna be people that don't like it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just part of the thing.
I mean, my biggest Instagram reel that I posted for Mud.
Yeah.
When I put Mud out.
yeah,
Which, by the
new
grace
single, by
of
the way,
God,
I love
dude,
it. Yeah,
Oh, Money Where Your Mouth Is?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a good one, too. I'm just trying. I mean, I feel like I'm really I'm getting in the groove
yeah,
of like, I listen, and I'll never take down the first few songs that I put out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep them up there.
Well,
It's
that's
like,
what
look
makes
at
you
the
you.
evolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't change brands
Right.
necessarily. It was just kind of like an evolution of like, okay, I found a new producer that kind of
Yep.
fits my vibe. He excelled as well, and we are like growing together, and we're on
Yeah.
the same page, and like I'm writing with people that I know I can write the music I want to write
Yep.
now, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just a part of like funneling everything down into like right where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I see why it takes a long. It's such a process, you
Yeah.
know. But I was getting ready to say is Mud. By the grace of God, on the Thursday, it was going to come out that night at midnight, and I had a reel from the day before that I posted that got so much hate, dude. It's still 13 weeks ago. I'm still getting comments on it of people just talking mad shit. But
Crazy.
it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
So it's like because of that, it took the thing up. It's almost at like 500,000 streams or views.
Mm-hmm.
And I gained like 5,000 followers from that. And I'm
Yep.
like, dude, call me a queer one more time.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. Oh, dude, crazy stuff. Like some dude commented and I was like, somebody
What's
give
the
this.
video?
It's just a reel of me, doing a vocal performance of Mud, just like an
Acoustic
overdub.
or no?
No, just like the track, and then me just like, in my get up, like in a warehouse wherever we shot it.
Yep.
doing the thing, just
Weird.
singing it.
Why do people get so upset about it?
I think I said something. I started it off with like when you grew up, like listening to, Nickelback, Puddle of Mud, blah blah blah. But like you also did these like, in the country, these type of things.
Yep.
Okay.
And everybody just had something to say about it, man. And like it wasn't even really about the song even.
Yeah.
But then, it'd be like, oh great, just what we need, another princess pretending to be us, blue collar workers, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But then it's really fun to see other people like go with them. Like
Yeah.
have your back and go at them. And you're like, yeah, because I'm not going to.
And
There's
then
no
they're
point.
fighting,
Right.
and that's just bringing your engagement up, right?
Unbelievable. It's a magical thing, but it's like you really do have to. You got to toughen up your skin a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I've always just been, like, especially before I moved here, being home, I was just friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was a friend to me, even people I didn't know. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it was just, I couldn't imagine having people say things like that to me. But it's like
They wouldn't say it to you.
right.
That's the
exactly.
thing with the internet.
Or even about me or whatever,
Right.
right? So to me, at first, it was just like, like what?
Yeah.
What did I do to you, dude? But it's like then you just got to realize like, oh, these people are just sad. They're
Yeah.
just most of the time you just send up a little prayer for them, hope
Yeah.
that they get better. And sometimes they just do it because they like it.
Yeah. Well, dude, the
They're
other thing
sick.
too is like you
the
were
haters.
working.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Praise for the haters,
You were working on living your fucking dream,
right?
right? And that's hard for some other people to see because everyone's had thoughts of a thing that they'd love to do.
Absolutely.
And they usually don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So watching someone else do that in a way where they're like, "Oh, I could do better than that," like,
Yeah.
and everybody has thoughts of like, "Oh, I would change this and this, or I would do this instead of this," but those guys aren't fucking doing it.
Right.
You were fucking doing it.
Yeah.
And
that's what you got
makes
to.
it.
That's where you really sit down with yourself and you tell yourself that you cannot let it get to you.
No.
Like at first it might, and it did for me because I'm just a nice guy.
Dude.
I
Oh, that
love
would wreck
I love
me.
people.
At least at first.
Well,
Yeah.
and
You gotta get used to
Corinne, dude, Corinne, she
Yeah,
gets
she's-
fired up.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
the
why
best.
are they talking about you like this? Like they don't know you. Like you're just such a sweet guy. Like why would they? And I'm like, babe, it
This is
is.
a
What,
thing.
honestly, I was like, this is great.
You're like watch this video, get more people.
I was like, hey, look, I just went from 12,000 to 18,000 followers. Like,
quick.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Keep it coming, dude. And like you said, like if you don't have people hating on your stuff, then there's not enough people seeing it.
Exactly.
Because especially what I'm doing, the country rock thing is pretty niche. Like it's not, like you look at Luke Combs, for example.
Yep.
Dude, he covers anywhere from toddlers to 80-year-old people.
Yes.
Like anybody could listen to his music and enjoy it. You know? It's like you really can't. It's very I don't know. It's, I guess I can't think of for lack of a better term, there's just not a real niche. It's like, this is country music. It's like, we know this and this is familiar and it sounds good and we know what he's talking about and we can relate, and it's not really controversial, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like when you're doing something that is kind of a little outside of the boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, you got to expect that.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
if
people
you're
just
pushing
ripping.
boundaries, like you've seen it on the other side. You've seen people give Sam Hunt shit for years.
Yeah.
About, oh, this is R&B, like this isn't country. This
He was
is
kind of
my
like he was
country
kind of like a
music.
pioneer.
He was,
right.
He was one of them.
Yeah.
But it's happened forever. Ray Charles put out country records and got shit for it. There was just no
Really?
internet back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
That's the
Yeah,
problem, dude.
they're
That's-
amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
When Garth came out, they said he wasn't country enough. They said, this isn't country. You know, there's been that forever. And honestly, like, I've even found myself when I was younger saying shit like that. And then I went to a Florida Georgia Line show. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I
Yes.
know all of the words. And, like, why are people... It's almost like the Nickelback thing where people just hated on it because
exactly
it was
like
popular.
Yeah.
Fireball tastes great.
Yeah.
Dude. Hold on. What is that line? Because one of the lines, what is it?
Fireball whiskey whispers.
Temptation in my ear.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that one. It's the she was popping right out of the South Georgia water.
Yeah.
I just always have thought that line is hilarious, dude. Just popping on out.
Yeah.
Just popping on out. I was like, yeah, that's
But
all right.
it's, in my opinion, like, everything is waves, right? And we're seeing a wave.
Timeline.
Yes. We're seeing a wave of, like, I mean, honestly, look at, like, the Shabuzi, Big X the Plug, like, being on that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we're seeing the rap overlap that we have in the past, too.
Right.
But we're seeing it very big. Wallen's bringing part of that back. We're seeing the side of things where there's really traditional stuff that's working. We're
Zach
seeing...
Top.
Yeah. He's gold.
And that's the thing. It's like, I was thinking that too. I'm like, man, you guys are hating me. You have no idea. Like, I appreciate that music so
Yes.
much as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just people get in this little box.
Bro, I've
That's all
even
it
seen
is,
people hating on Zach Top.
which is insane.
I know, because they don't know him, so they don't think it's real. And then when you meet the guy, you're like, oh no, this
Yeah.
is Zach Top. Like,
Yeah.
This is who he is.
And that's the thing. If Zach Top can get hate, you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
You're never
if you're
going
trying to, it's never going to work.
Absolutely.
The person that you need to please is your creative brain.
That's it.
And
You know?
us also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would love that too. But
Fair. Where do I sign?
Bro, I remember, like, when I first started playing for Luke, and it was like before Hurricane had like really popped, like right in the beginning. It was like everyone's like, I love this music. It's great. And then the first single did really well, and then Rains at Boris came out and did really well, and all the songs. And I never heard anyone say anything bad about his music or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until after he just became so popular then it was like people started eventually have to have something bad to say.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that I agree with it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it wasn't. So it's like it's just inevitable that part of being famous or being a person, part of having 18,000 followers is being out there, and people are going to have opinions.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And that's one of the things that, for me is, it's kind of, I mean, you get used to it, but I'm very like, I know it's part of the deal and it's what you got to do, but truly inside, I'm like, I don't really care if people know what I'm doing every second of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm kind of, before I really took on the artist thing, I might post it on my Instagram like once every 3 months. I was like
Yeah.
one of those, it was
Yep.
just, I just didn't really, I just kind of, I'm a very big, like, live in the moment,
Yeah.
And so that was, like, a hard adjustment for me to be like, everything needs to be documented.
Yeah.
And it's cool because, obviously, it's like, that's how I'm going to get the brand out there and
Yeah.
get people to know who I am.
Yep.
So it's a win you know, when it works. But at the same time, it was like that was like a big step for me.
Yeah.
Was to like really get into the socials, and just wasn't like a natural thing
It's
for me.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, when it works, it's a blast.
Yeah.
It's fun. And that's where you're like, okay, cool. People are, and then you get the reactions. You get the good reactions. They conquer the bad ones almost always.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is you're going to get the people that are hating on your stuff. They're not going to be there the next time.
No.
The people that are loving it will be there the next time.
Yes. You just brought 6,000 more people
Absolutely.
that love it and are going to follow along for the journey.
Yeah.
You know?
So anybody out there that's doing this thing and just losing hope and getting hated on, if you're getting hated on, awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
Doing it right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Unless you're,
A Nazi, then
don't do that.
Have you seen those folks around? God.
Oh, like
Actual Nazis in
Yeah.
Nashville?
In Nashville?
Yeah. I was driving on 40, like by Briley, and they were out there waving all these crazy flags and shit.
Really?
Yeah, swear to God.
No, I didn't see
Fucking
that.
scary, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
So fuck those guys. That's all
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
everyone
mean,
else cool, not Nazis.
I
though.
can't even process that's a real thing. That's
Yeah.
Neither did
insane.
I.
Crazy.
Wow.
My
We'll
thing.
pray for him.
Yeah, we'll pray for him.
Yeah.
My thing is being uncomfortable makes you grow.
Absolutely.
So, like, I am not comfortable. I'm comfortable on a podcast.
Yeah.
Now I'm comfortable on stage introducing people. I'm not comfortable talking to that camera directly, right?
Dude.
But now I'm doing it, because
That's literally
so I have to move the
what I've
needle.
always said is like I can literally talk to anybody face to face.
Yeah,
I have no problem getting personable with
Yeah.
people. Talking to that camera,
it's weird.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, there was times where I'm literally like making a show announcement, and it's taken me 25 takes
yeah,
because I'm so in my head. And
Yep.
and Corinne, I'll probably mention her a lot because she's literally like,
she's literally the best though.
dude, she's my right hand man in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how that all came about because, I mean, huge shout out to her. It's one thing to have somebody to like put up with the lifestyle and like the busyness and the being gone, but to have somebody that's like submerging themselves into it
Yeah.
with a full-time job and just like,
She's great.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. But
Did y'all
like,
meet in Michigan or Nashville?
we met in Michigan probably 7 years ago, and we were both with other people at the time. And my girlfriend and I broke up, and I had a couple single summers, had a good time, started playing with Sadie Bass.
Yeah,
And then she, I discovered that she had been single for a while, and I asked her to come on the boat, and it wasn't anything like that. It was just like we knew who we were, and we liked each other as friends. Like
Yeah.
we're fond of each other.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah, just come hang out. And we spent a weekend together, and it was like,
Done.
yeah,
we went
We
like
don't
2
talk about
months.
love very much on this podcast. It's nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It actually is.
Yeah.
And I remember like when you were talking about her, and you're like, my girl's moving down.
yeah.
Like because you were here and she was up there.
Oh, dude, I was scared at first.
Yeah.
I was, because I'd never, like, when I moved here, I was like, you have this mindset. You're like, I'm going to Nashville. I'm doing the artist thing. I'm like, I don't need any distractions. I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
And what it's like turned into now, but being uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, sometimes there's some decisions that you shouldn't make if you're uncomfortable with
Oh
them,
yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But it's like, moving down here was like the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I couldn't imagine if I wouldn't have now,
Yeah.
So just going back to just getting uncomfortable and doing things that are just testing your limits.
Yeah.
It's the best thing you can do.
Well, and then you get it slightly moves what you're comfortable doing,
Yes.
So you're building your repertoire of things that you're comfortable and then getting good at.
Getting good at. Yeah.
Because being uncomfortable means that you're thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how can I make this more comfortable?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. And then you get a whole new tool in your tool belt.
Yeah. It's a great thing, man.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know if I've gotten to points where you you do this thing, you get uncomfortable, you make it happen, and then you kind of ride it out, and then you go, okay, now it's time to shift gears again. Now we
Yeah.
got to do something else that's uncomfortable, and it never stops. It never really stops.
If you're doing it right, it doesn't.
Right, for sure.
It's like being in the gym. you
Yeah.
know?
Got to
Constantly.
change up the routine.
Yeah.
What are some things that y'all have encountered that have been uncomfortable, that have been growth, like periods? Obviously, moving down.
Yeah.
Moving down was like the big one, yeah, and then probably just like walking up to people that I knew were like important in the industry and actually like making the move to go, because that was kind of like scary.
Yeah.
Like,
Go shake that hand kind of thing.
go shake that hand. And I was like, what are they going to think of me? You know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you really got to just throw that thought away.
Yeah.
And just do what you do with everybody else. And when I was like really green in town, you really kind of like put these people up on a pedestal, and that makes it so much harder.
Yeah.
It's like, they're just people, dude. And that's, I've learned that over the last 3.5 years being here, that the more people that I've met like that, it's like they love who you are if you're just yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like something that I figured out in the first year or so I was here. But definitely, if you're green to the industry, I didn't know anything about the music industry before I moved here.
Same,
I've learned
bro.
so much that like now I look at, I was the same as anybody, you know, back home or wherever that doesn't know anything about it. And so you kind of have to put your mindset there when you're thinking about how they take things or how they see things or percept it, you know? And you got to go like, oh yeah, that's right. They don't know how this works. They don't know like this or that about, I had to learn too, you know? So
That's one of the challenging things with like what we do with hosting rounds and stuff is we have so many people that are green
yeah.
and everyone wants to ask questions and I just don't have time to answer everyone's questions.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Well, it's cool that they're like seeking you to,
Yeah.
you know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That you've like built the reputation to be somebody that they respect to come ask about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great.
yeah, it's actually super cool, but at the same time it's definitely challenging too because it's like, okay, what do I tell them? Is it good advice, right? I want to
Yeah.
make sure the things I'm telling them have value. And then I'm telling the same things 150 times in a row.
Yeah, right.
You know? So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make videos where I tell people what the things that maybe aren't right at all, but that I think are, you know?
Yeah, you could probably just do like solo pods like Theo does and
Yeah.
just talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I want
Masterclass.
to do that. I like talking to you guys too much.
Yeah.
Once Nick gets like a record label, then you could do that,
Yeah.
Give me 3 years.
or
Yeah.
or whatever.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
good goal.
it's an interesting thing though, but it's such a blessing to be able to do something at a level where other people are interested in your insight.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
like as an artist, I'm sure it's the same way where like people hit you up and are like, "Yo, how do you do this thing?"
That's and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, we're all figuring it
Yeah,
out.
dude.
bud.
Hey,
Yeah.
I promise you. But that is a cool thing that's happened. You know, in the last few years, is just that seeing that growth
Yeah.
of like where I was the green guy, you know, looking for somebody to kind of get some advice from, and now you got other people coming in, and it's like, okay, well, cool. Like I must be doing something then.
Yeah.
That people are noticing.
You are.
You know.
Doing
Yeah.
something right. I remember when I first moved to town, I had my first like audition. You know, because I've gotten gigs, but I wouldn't have to audition. It was just people knew who I was, or like, you know, friends.
Yeah.
And I was doing my first audition, and I was like, what the hell do I do for an audition? I've never done like auditions, but never like in Nashville for, you know, a signed artist.
What do you do?
Well, you learn the songs, and
Yeah.
then you go and play them. But if you've never done it before, there's a lot of things that are different, you know. And it's like, I remember talking to Dane Kinzer, who plays guitar for Kane Brown. He was like, yeah, when I did this audition, like a big part of it was like singing background vocals. So I practiced singing with the record, and then when I went to do the audition, there was no one else to sing with, and so I just had to sing my background part without the main vocal there. And I didn't practice it that way,
Oh, that's crazy.
which is like super weird.
Well, for me, singing harmony is like the melody is the guide.
Right, of
Right.
course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
it's like the artist is not even singing with you. It's like, go ahead and sing that's weird. You know, it's like, so that's one thing that you might have to be able to do.
Yeah.
But being someone that was new in town, I reached out to Jeff King, who plays guitar for Reba and Brooks and Dunn. And I was like, hey, man, like, help me. And so I just went over with a bottle of Gentleman Jack, and we sat and played guitar for a few hours, you know?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
And then I have people hit me up also. Now that that was 2013 or something. Now it's, what year is it, 2024?
Yeah.
And people hit me up, so I'm always grateful for the experience to pass it forward, you know, pay it forward, something
Yeah.
like that. So it's cool that you're doing that with people, young artists that are coming to town to write, and that you're able to help other artists that are coming to town too.
That's
looking to do
exactly
their
what this is about, and you can't gatekeep. I feel like
thing. 100% not.
I feel like people get that way because they're like, I worked so hard for this, I got to hang on to it. Like nobody
Yeah.
can know how I did this, and it's like, well, I mean, if they're gonna find out, they're gonna find out. So you might as well be the guy to be like, hey,
Do you
check
want
this
them to
out.
love you or hate you?
Yeah,
You know?
that's the difference.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's like it's all just kind of it's like a I don't know, like it should be a big family.
Yeah.
You know, a big community is what it. That's what
Yeah.
I've always looked at it as. Sure, you have competition, but it's not the same.
No.
It's not a dog eat dog.
No.
It's more like, you know, you kind of it's teams. There's like teams, and like everybody kind of helps each other out, and one rises, and so do the rest. And
Yep.
I've seen it. You see these classes. It's
Yep.
like the classes of these people in town.
Yep.
That like.
Who's in your class? Who are some people that you kind of moved to town with?
Man, you know what? So, moved to town with.
Well,
That's
or even that you've
do you know-
surrounded yourself with.
Becca Brunner.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, she's amazing. I think she moved shortly after me. She's actually from Mason, Michigan. She's like 20 minutes from my hometown. She moved around. I would say she's probably in the same class. Clayton Shea is my roommate and my good buddy. He is,
Oh, him and I ran together.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Small world.
So
He's good at running.
he was
And
the
had music.
Yeah.
he was actually the first in the first co-write that I had in Nashville in January 2020 before I even moved here. I came down with Sadie. Sadie would be in that class as well. But yeah, Clayton probably. Man, I'm trying to think of like I don't think about this often.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I know, like with Luke, it was like when Luke popped, so did Kane Brown, so did Brett Young. I'm just trying to think, you know. Like,
Yeah.
so it was like,
But then, like, the other part of that is, like, who is Luke's crew? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like,
yeah. I mean, he has the people that he writes with all the time. It's like
yeah.
James McNair and the Brothers Hunt and
Ray.
Rob. And,
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
writers wise for sure. Like Clay Barker, Justin Holt, you know, Jordan
Love those
Rager.
guys.
Jordan Rager's been here a while though.
Yeah.
love
But I
that
would
kid,
still
man.
I still feel like
that gentleman.
I don't know, we're in the same group right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like no matter how long anybody's been here or it just kind of lines up that way.
Yeah.
And this you could have been here for 3 years longer than the other guy, but this still could be your time.
Yeah.
As well as it is this guy's, you know?
And it's other people that have the same kind of ideas, that treat people the same way, you know, that, and honestly, stylistically for writing is very important, right?
Huge.
Like the stuff that you're writing, the rock leaning stuff.
Yeah.
There's guys that do that and there's guys that don't.
Yes.
So you need, if that's what you're trying to explore, you need to find the folks that are willing to explore that with you, which I think
Absolutely.
you've done,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I'm getting there, and I've got a couple good groups that I know that I can go into a room with. And we can get something that I'm vibing with.
Yeah.
Still, you know, you're like, it never ends. You're just
Oh,
steadily,
yeah.
steadily building it up.
Well,
And I'm
there's
still down to
constantly
write
new.
with people
Yeah.
that, you know, because I still like to just write also.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not for me, if it's like, I mean, I'll write anything.
Yeah.
There was a few times when I first
Great
moved to town.
practice.
Yeah. It's like I was writing some pop stuff, like some super country stuff. I mean, I know it all,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I appreciate all of it. So why not,
Yeah.
you know, contribute my skills to it?
Well, and that's why I talk to people too about writing. Like, I'm like, even if it's not a song for you,
Yeah.
try to do the best you can at it because you might catch a moment from that song that unlocks something else in your brain that'll help you in the future.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, writing articles was kind of the same way when I was doing that extensively. I'm not a good writer. Like, I'm not, you know?
Yeah.
But I was serviceable. And every time I did it, I was like, oh, that's cool that I did that there. Or I can loop back from here to this.
For sure.
You know?
It's all just building.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, literally nothing negative to take away from it
Yeah.
at all, no matter what you're doing. You know, if you're writing, that's your craft. You're
Mm-hmm.
honing it.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of song or who it's for, or you know, it's like you just, like you said, you just do the best that you can, and that's gonna add on to whatever you got going on for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely agree.
just open up new avenues,
Yeah.
and it could also, I mean, look at so like Hardy's a great example. His writing style is like, whoa, you know, and you know that he's written with a bunch of different kinds of flavors,
Yeah.
and he is taking little bits and pieces from all of it and it's becoming like what he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a perfect example of that.
Have you heard his like rap stuff? Like he's got everything, dude. The guy can write anything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the only like rap vibe that is Quit.
Yeah.
Right, which is sick.
We get
Some of the stuff is like unreleased.
work
It's just,
tapes and
yeah, it's like
stuff.
floating
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Bro, yeah.
Well, one of them was a song called Your Mama, and now it got cut. Did you see that?
What?
So that work tape has kind of been circling around, just a demo, and it's very rappy. And James Barker Band from Canada
Oh
Whoa.
shit! No
cut
way.
it. Yeah, it's called Your Mama, and it's like your mama would hate me. It's like the theme of it.
Is
you
it
know what I mean?
released yet?
Mama, your
Yeah,
mama.
it's
Oh,
out.
sick. Okay.
It's super cool. But that had circled around in kind of like friendship groups for a while.
Yeah.
Of like, yo, check out this song. It's like Hardy would probably never cut it, you know, and he didn't, but someone else cut it because it got to the right ears.
That's sick.
You know.
There's so
Well,
many,
that's another thing.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
There's a whole like group of Dropbox links that like float around Music Row. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this is probably worth a whole just an episode on it, just all the crazy stuff. But it's like George Jones board tapes for when he
Yeah.
was real bad on alcohol, Hank Jr., that kind of stuff. Then there's that song Hands. Have you guys heard that?
I haven't.
It's like this beautifully produced song, and it's like super country with like the piano and everything, and it's like, where would we be if we didn't have hands? We could. It's just the weirdest. I don't understand. The weirdest song
Fair.
I've ever heard.
I want to get
fair
baked
It's
to
like-
listen to that.
Oh, yes. And it's like, because you hear the production, and there's this beautiful mandolin, and you're like, man, this is great. And then the lyrics come in, and you're like, okay. And then it gets to the chorus, and it's like, how could you hold a baby if you didn't have hands? And then you're like, what the fuck is going on?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, man, I need to do that. That'd be fun. Just kind of go in.
They're really painting a picture there.
Oh,
Demo
dude, it's
jail.
wild. I don't have it. I have to get it from Rob or somebody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun too, and I mean, again, that's kind of stuff like demo jail and getting to hear songs before they hit. That only happens here. I mean, maybe in LA
For
and
sure.
New York, you know.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, everybody just hangs on, dude.
But yeah, you know,
So you gotta
and
steal it.
everywhere else, it's like different markets. But that's one of the things that I was like, man, you could hear rock coming back, right?
Yeah.
You could hear traditional country coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You could start seeing Post Malone come to town and MGK come to town. And you're like, oh, this thing's about to break wide open.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
you hear Jelly Roll starting to get talked about on Ernest podcast before he had anything to do with country music.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
But you know what, man? It's kind of cool because it's like there's just no rules.
Yeah.
There's no rules, and it's honestly, I believe we may get to a point where we just don't have genres.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible because of just like technical things.
The hard part is that we have segmented things
Yeah.
like radio,
Right. Exactly.
playlists.
That's the technical
right?
stuff. Yeah.
So that's the technical stuff where it's like, where does this live? But if the Eagles came out today, they would be a country act.
Absolutely.
And they were one of the bigger rock acts of history.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and right, like Southern rock.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
It's just the lines are bending. And my thing is, why can't it live on a country playlist and a rock playlist?
Absolutely.
It should, right?
Hardy did it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like,
I would love that.
yeah.
That's a goal. Actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you get a song that fits both of those things and it is engaging to both of those, what you considered audiences,
Right.
amazing.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So Hardy's had songs that were on rock radio, and then he's had songs that were on country radio.
Same with Jelly, right?
Yep.
Yep. But what if you had a song that was on both at the same time?
I'm sure those boys have, right?
Yep. And you'll have stuff that crosses over to pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any genre can cross over to pop. Pop means popular music, you know?
Right. Yeah. For
So
sure. Dude.
everything's pop, really.
Yep.
You know, if it gets big enough. You know,
Yeah.
Cruise was pop because it was extremely popular.
Yes.
You know, and it was likable enough to hit that mainstream segment, right?
Right.
And travel down at a very high speed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, think about it, like Beyonce. Everyone's going crazy over Beyonce and genre, right? Like, going nuts over it, good or bad. Now you don't even hear that talked about, right?
It was so fast.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was like, okay, cool. That was a thing that happened. Awesome.
It was almost like People just couldn't help themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like,
Some
oh,
of the worst takes about that.
I gotta
Yeah.
say something about this. Like,
Yeah.
dude, chill out. You don't.
Well,
I
and
swear you
honestly,
don't.
I think being in this circle in Nashville makes you understand it a little more, because I was kind of more, I don't know about that when I was not here, right? It's way
Yeah.
easier on the outside.
I was like that about Morgan.
Yeah.
I can't remember what song it was. It was Heartless.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah. Wasn't that like with Marshmallow or something?
Diplo.
Diplo, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, this ain't country.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys at
Yeah.
first.
You're reformed now.
Yeah, I am.
But,
yeah.
bro,
and
should-
that's why, just like I said, you put yourself in their mindset and you go, oh, they don't know.
Well, he just knows what he loves. I remember I was in a green room for Morgan in like 2019. And as soon as Morgan hit the green room, he's like, turn that country stuff off, put on some rap music.
Yeah,
Because that's what he listens to.
for sure.
You know, he sings country music,
Dude,
but he
same
listens to rap
thing.
a lot of
it's
times.
It's the same thing as me growing up on rock and
Yeah.
liking country. And
Exactly.
That is,
Of course it's going to come together. You know, of course
Yeah.
you're going to have influences from that go into your world.
right.
And it's the same thing as a fan, right? Of course I'm going to like the Shabuzi song with Big X the Plug, because I fucking love Big X the Plug. You know, I'm like, this song's great, you know? And it talks about Whiskey Row, and the melody's amazing, you know? Like,
Sick.
it's a sick song. Is it Zach Top? Fuck no. But do I listen to it and enjoy it? Yes.
And there's no reason to compare the two.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know?
And I get that people don't like it. They're not, again, if music's done properly, it's not made for every single person on the planet to like that song.
Absolutely.
You know? Even like the biggest songs on the planet, there's people that don't like them. You know?
too.
Yeah.
I mean, people hate you too.
Yeah. And like
Nickelback.
Sweet Caroline, one of the largest songs ever on the planet, is also
dude.
incredibly hated.
I don't care what anybody says.
Not by me.
Yeah. Same.
I don't care what anybody says. They say they don't like that song.
Yeah.
You get a couple cocktails in you,
Yeah.
and there's a live band playing that song.
You're gonna have a good
on
time.
a lakeside patio.
Or at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
And everybody else around you. There's no way you're just gonna stand there like a bump on a log.
No.
Yeah, we have it in our like pre-show play roll, whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like Sweet Caroline's playing, and the crowd is bonkers. And then because we walk out and they see Luke, and then the people that can see him, because we're like kind of behind the stage, go crazy. And then that song, everyone pulls their phones out, but no one tells them to,
Yeah.
And it's now whenever I hear that, I get this like Pavlovian like goosebump kind of feeling. So yeah. But if it's everyone likes it, then it's going to be like really generic and bland, and then that's going to make people dislike it. So it's like
Yeah.
Yep.
And the world's all cycles, you know? Like, if you think about what's happening in country music right now, Zach Bryan, and has a whole vein of other things that are adjacent to that, right? Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are the pillars right now.
Holy Trinity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
for
now,
sure.
they are.
Yep.
But it's always like that.
Always.
It was Eric Church and Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan, you know? Like,
Yep.
and then it was Garth and nobody else, because Garth was so big.
yeah.
But it's always like that, where it's like there's these lanes that are, here's what is acceptable in the mainstream of what they don't hate a lot. There's some people that hate it, but it is, honestly, Luke has done a better job than almost anyone of making music that there's not that many people that hate.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
100%.
if you're talking about that, and I mean, honestly, even Wallen, like, there's not that many people that are bitching about Wallen crossing genres.
Not
really
at
not.
all.
You know?
No.
His shit's just fire, bro.
Yeah, that's right. You just do it well.
Yeah.
If you do it well, then it's,
Yeah, if it's
you know,
captured properly.
and it's captured properly because it's natural to him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it is. It can't be forced.
Right. And
You
he's
know?
has experience of, okay, I'm putting straight down the center country music out.
Yes.
Okay, I'm putting out a record of just straight up party bangers,
Mm-hmm.
which he did, and it's sick. Up, down, all that whole record.
Yeah.
You know, the way I talk, even, I mean, which isn't like the most party song on that, but all of it. You can listen to that record at the tailgate. It's just straight up party heaters that built that show. But then they found the ballads,
Yes.
and you got to play those ballads now because they're freaking crazy popular.
Yeah,
you know,
dude. Got to.
but that's the other thing too that I love is like the rock show, like the show that you get to put on when you're playing songs that are rock
Yeah.
or rock leaning, makes that show for me so great.
Absolutely.
I'm like, this is opening different doors in my brain and taking me back to my past of going to rock shows when I was a kid.
Yep.
And it just feeds my soul with that.
You know
And
what's
that's why I
crazy,
love
dude?
it.
I want to say the first country concert that I ever went to was Brantley Gilbert headlining with Thomas Rhett opening and Eric Pasley as
I love Eric
as a
Pasley.
third. Yeah, dude. That was like 2014, maybe 15, when Brantley was still drinking.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Crazy, Brandon.
Yeah, dude. That show when he came out on his Harley and dude, I'm telling you, I was like, oh, this is badass.
Yeah.
I literally bought the tickets for my girlfriend at the time because she was a huge country fan.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I grew up on some country, but it was all old school stuff. I really didn't like Tailgates and Tan Lines. I was listening to that with the boys around the fire. And
Yeah.
like, you know, it was Craig Morgan was like kind of in there too. There was a little bit, but it was like I don't think I ever would have went to a country concert. I was all about like Metallica and like metal shows. I went to Warped Tour.
Yeah.
You know, every year. And I took her to that Brantley show and I was like, that was it for me. I was like changed. I was a changed man. I was like, oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
Bro, I had that same moment actually. It wasn't at Brantley concert, but I was playing in a wedding band living in Boston, and you know we would play like Prince and Earth, Wind and Fire and stuff like that, and Stevie Wonder and Bon Jovi, and we were in the van and we were driving the gig, and he was like, "Hey, the bride and groom want to hear a country song," and I played a telly, you know. I was like, "Cool, I got a Telecaster," and I didn't know anything about country music, like at all. And he goes, "All right, well, I'm gonna with his iPod. This is years ago. Plugged it into the, you know, take that converter or whatever, and was like, all right, this is the song we gotta learn." And it was, bum bam 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 bam, and I was like, "Fuck it in my big truck." And it was like that Luke Bryan song. I was like, I started I'm like, this is country, and then it goes like, gang 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 gang, and I'm like, whoa, this shit rocks. Like, this is incredible.
For sure.
I was expecting like tear in my beer or something, you know? And it was like, okay, cool. I was like, damn, I didn't know you can do that.
Same. Yep. I totally get that, man.
But you can.
You can.
And that's the thing that I think is great about where we're at now is because the genre is getting bigger and because you're getting big celebrities that are crossing over and playing music in the genre as well.
Yeah.
It's opening the ears of so many more people to what this thing can be.
Absolutely.
And if you come in for MGK or Post Malone and you stay for Jason Cross, that's a win.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Like, and that's the way I think about it is like, it's not like they're coming in and trying to take over and,
no,
you know, change it and make
it's
it so
just
not
purely
everybody.
growing.
It's, the market's so big.
Well, you've seen like these huge, these big country festivals, more and more people that would never have considered coming to a country concert are coming. And it's like, I want to say it was CCMF. Nate Smith had like 43,000 people. That was, and then it was Nate Smith and then Lee Bryce, which awesome. That was the first time I ever saw Lee live.
Oh, he's so good live.
Whoa.
Great voice.
Awesome, dude. I mean, it's just like, and he's just fired up.
Storyteller too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was Morgan, of
Yeah.
course. And I think Morgan probably had to have 60, 70K at CCMF. Like that's
So
honestly
crazy.
might be one of the smaller plots of a festival like that.
Yeah.
And it was just all the way back, dude. Like, so it just goes to show like these things, and CCMF, what's been going for years now. And I've been at it 3 out of the last 4 years, just playing around Myrtle Beach or whatever.
Yep.
And I've seen it literally just like country music is just blowing up.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Rising tide raises all ships.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Absolutely.
Write that down.
Yeah.
Let's write that. Give me a third.
So we talked about Mud. Why don't we talk about Money Where Your Mouth Is
Yeah.
too?
So, dude, crazy. I have another song, the one that I'm releasing next.
Yeah.
I had it ready. I had it mixed, like ready to go to master, and I just did a total 180, and I was like, oh shit, this is not a summer song. It's not a summer song. And even though it is going to be coming out, you know, towards probably the end of August. I haven't really announced anything yet.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to stay on that like every 6 weeks.
Heard it here first.
Just start pumping. Yeah.
Wicked. Wicked.
But I'm trying to stay on that every 6 week release period.
Yeah.
And just pumping them out because, like I said, I feel like I've just like found it's easy for me to tell like, okay, I like this enough to release it, or no, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm not like, I think a lot of people and I myself found that I was at first just like waiting for that like one song that I thought was gonna change everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, dude, that's not what it's about. It's literally about you write a song that you're like, I dig that.
It's me.
Sit on it for a minute and like do your thing with it and see if it really grows with you. And if it's good and you like it and it comes out well, put it out.
Yeah.
Put it out. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, and so that's kind of where I'm at now. And Money Where Your Mouth Is, we were on a writer's retreat in December. We started it then. We finished it in March. I wrote it with Clay Barker, Davis Forney, and Andrew Capra. And I had the idea, I had the title on my phone, and I didn't really know what I wanted it to be, but I was like, you know, it's kind of ironic that like when you go to the bar, you're like putting your money where your mouth is. Yeah. So I wanted to take that saying and make a song out of it. Good time, rowdy drinking song, right? And I was like, this is great. So we turned around and got that thing out in like 5 weeks, which is pretty crazy. Like I'm usually on like an 8 to 10 week like turnaround production, and some people might hear that and think that's nuts, but it's just is the way it is, I guess. And that I was like, this is it. This is a good summer song. This is a good high energy, positive vibe, and it kind of worked out because it rolls off of the whole, like the Mud song was about blue collar workers and like people that just earn a living the hard way, and how I appreciate that because I never had a job like that, but I did things like that. I wrenched on cars and like I baled hay, and I've laid concrete. I've put up walls in a house. Like I've done things, so I know the experience. I never had to break my back doing it, 60 plus every week. I've been blessed enough to be able to like have jobs that I like really enjoy. Yeah. But it was just kind of my anthem for those people, like as an appreciation thing. Like I see you out there, like working hard, putting food on your table for your family, like, and that's kind of like how I grew up. It's just like you got to do whatever it takes to like make things happen. Like if you get in a rut in life and you get stuck, and there's there's doers and there's don'ters in life. And like that one's for the doers, you know? So like, and then coming off of that, it was like, okay, you work so hard, not take your hard-earned money, pay your bills and go get drunk. Like it was kind of like,
amen, bro.
It was like, all right, now the hard work's over. Like, let's do this thing. So it worked out in that way. And I love how it came out. Jake Partial on production for these things. And I mean, it's just that the vibe it's just all coming together, man. And so we're taking this one now that I have coming up, and then hopefully I've got another one ready after that, and we'll probably want to do about 3 more before the end of the year. Nice. But man, it's just, I look at my past releases, and we're talking like, I didn't know shit. So I'm putting 3, 4, 5, 6 plus months in between releases, just like shelling them out as I can. Yeah. That also had a lot to do with just like
money too.
You're absolutely starting a business. Yeah. So it's like, everything that I still to this day, I'm just starting to actually like build capital. I feel like actual capital after like buying a trailer and buying an ear rig, and like you're just throwing it
getting
all
the
back
van
into
ready
it.
and making sure everything's roadworthy,
and you love it. It's like I have no problem. I have no problem like spending money on that stuff. Because I love it.
You're investing in yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. But now it's getting to that point where it's like, okay, cool, we can actually like get on a roll here. But with that, I mean, it's nonstop. Yeah. You're in the studio, you're shooting content, you're on top of writing and being on the road. Yep. And now I'm actually getting, like this year, I've gotten like the first taste of what it's like to actually nonstop just, it's always been a grind. Yeah. But I think the focus has changed. That's what it is.
That makes sense.
It's like we've shifted gears now, and the like prioritizing things. It's like, okay, these come first because this is what it is. We got 4 weeks till this song comes out, so now we got to do this today and tomorrow, and it's just all kind of, it's cool to see that like fall in line and just kind of like figure it out. Yeah, and you never really have it figured out, but figuring it out. Yeah, you're getting closer to.
Well, that's the crazy thing you see the more you do it. So you know people that are at all levels of success.
Yeah.
And the one thing that you see is no one really has it figured out. Because even if it worked the last time, it doesn't mean it's going to work this time.
Right.
And you got to keep trying different things.
Yeah.
You know?
And another thing, which I think naturally when you move to town and you're doing this thing, you kind of have this mindset that you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do what I know to do. And hopefully somebody comes along and goes, hey, we're going to help you out.
Yeah.
Can't rely on that ever.
F that. Yeah.
Literally ever. Even if they did and you don't have your shit really going on, especially these days with just how things are, with your ability to be independently successful.
Yep.
You better be independently successful before you even talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be a good deal.
Yep.
You're going to lose more than you gain. And it's just the facts. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Because they can. It's a business.
Yeah.
These labels and these pub companies, they are running a business, and no fault to them. It's become a lot easier for them to just go like, oh, that's a guaranteed investment right there.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, make yourself a guaranteed investment.
Yes.
That's what you have to do.
Absolutely
So
agree.
I think that was like another kind of like shifting of the gears that I've gone through since I've been here, is being like, oh, it's all me.
Yeah.
It's all me, and it's like you can't rely on anybody else. You can build a team. You can build a team of people to like help you out along the way, which is
And that has so
super
much
important.
power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you cannot do it all on your own.
No, it's impossible.
I don't think I never really thought that. Maybe I did. I think I might, when I was like real green into it, I might have thought like, oh, you just kind of come in like, I got this. You can't do it on your own.
No.
Whether it's
There's not enough hours in
whether
the
it's
day.
Corinne, answering emails for me
Yeah.
and like helping me on that side of things. Oh, God bless her accountant brain, dude. She's
Yeah.
just like that kind of stuff is
Yeah.
like, I am artist brain, not good with that stuff. Like probably could use some Adderall. And she's, she's on it. She's like A-type, organized, keeping my shit together. That's
Smart.
a huge,
Yes,
smart, way
she
smarter
is.
than me.
You guys are just different smart. But
Yeah,
you guys
I like
are a really
that.
good pair too.
You hear
know?
that, babe? We're different smart.
Yeah. No, but I think that's surrounding yourself with people that have skills that you don't necessarily have as your sharpest skill
Absolutely.
is very smart.
Yep.
And that's what a label or a major management does for you.
Yes.
They've collected people that are skillful.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, don't sign a label.
yeah. It
Can't
just
do
has
that.
to be the right deal. It has to make sense for everyone.
Absolutely.
Has to make sense for them. Has to make sense for you.
And it still happens.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Absolutely.
Jelly Roll and Chase Matthew, I think, are two of the guys that I think of when I think of that. Mm-hmm. It's like, they went and did their thing, and they independently became successful and got to have a say in how things were going to work.
Yeah.
And that is, it's your business. It's your baby.
Look at Kojo.
Yeah, dude, that's another
Yeah.
huge one. And so it's like, yeah, dude, labels are great. Like, that's how you're
They're
going to
powerful.
get to that level.
Yeah.
It really is.
They know
It's-
all the numbers to call.
Yes.
You
And
know?
it's the connections, it's the keys. They have the keys to the
Mm-hmm.
gates. Yep. And it's radio and the awards, and as much as, some people might not truly believe in those things, it helps so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It can
it-
make everything different.
It's you can bust through the gate with a big enough truck, but it's way easier if they open the door for you.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
It just
That's
is.
it.
You
Yeah.
know.
So, it's like work hard, do everything you can on your own until you get to a point where eventually, yes, you are going to need that to excel. There is a ceiling. As an independent artist, there is a ceiling.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to get beyond that.
Well, and there's no it's not saying like, oh, we have to do this, but like having someone that knows all of the DSPs that they can get you on a playlist to get, again, more ears and eyes on you.
Yep.
Right? You can do that yourself.
I have just discovered how massive playlists are.
Oh yeah.
This year. I landed on my first two. Routine Town, actually,
Congrats,
that I
man.
put out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was sweet. Mud actually it debuted at 35 on the iTunes charts, which is a milestone for us. And then,
Sick.
it's just Routine Town actually got up to 48. So you just kind of like, it's kind of nice to see that. And there was a song in between that didn't do shit.
Yeah, happens.
So there's another thing to keep in mind, that it's like, they're not all going to do something for you,
Yeah.
but you like it. That's all that
pushing.
matters. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is like, and we talk about this. There's this band, the Drop Tines, that I've recently found through a buddy that sent them to me.
I like the sound of that.
They're great.
Yeah.
And it's like Americana, rock, folky vibes. Awesome. But when you go back and listen to their catalog, you have a wealth of great songs
Yeah.
that they've had out before I found them.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure there's people that knew them the whole time, but it is nice to when you get to an artist that is new to you and you can go back and listen
dive.
to a wealth
Yeah.
of stuff.
Or like when you watching a show on Netflix and you know it's like already done.
Yeah, you got
Like,
4 seasons in the
yeah.
bank.
Yeah.
you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think I started Sons of Anarchy like that.
Oh, that's great.
We
You know
just
it
we
ends.
just restarted that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Dude, yeah, I love
I'm in
that
trouble.
show. Yeah. But that's powerful, you know? And
Yeah.
and if you waited for that right song and you only drop 2 songs a year waiting for that right song to have its moment, when people found you, those new 6,000 followers you just got,
Yes.
they wouldn't have anything to listen to.
That's right.
You know?
And it's there. So it's
Yeah.
there. It's out. You got it. You liked it.
Yep.
It fits your vibe.
Yep.
Sick. A year from now, I was just getting ready to say Routine Town got playlisted 9 months after it was released.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just like you
I've heard
never.
stories about like that.
Yeah.
You just never like, dude. Just if you like it, if you love it, it feels good, it
Yeah.
fits your brand, what you're going for, just get it out there.
Yeah.
Because it's always gonna be there.
Yep.
You can't. You could be 2 years. Morgan, great example. 2018 album. 2 years later, number ones.
Yeah.
Boom, just like that.
It's crazy.
like, dude. Yeah. It all. Like you said, just have it there. Having that.
Yeah.
That catalog in your profile.
Really helps.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's playlisting's huge. That
Yeah.
boosted my stuff like really big.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
We talked about the music you have. We talked about the playlisting. Let's talk about your tour that you have rolling.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm pumped. So we've actually we were in Michigan. We came back, got to play the Opry Plaza before
Yeah.
the Grand Ole Opry
Yeah.
last, 2 Fridays ago. That was sick, dude.
Sick.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, you know, everybody just kind of like shuffling in and coming into the show, but there was a good amount of people hanging out and watching. And
Yeah.
it's a cool stage. I mean, and you're at the Opry, man. It's a good vibe.
It's awesome.
So
Yeah.
we've been in town for a couple of weeks, and next week starts August is madness. It's
Yeah.
pure chaos, and I can't wait.
It's the best, though.
Yeah, dude, I'm so.
That's what you want.
I want to be on the road, man, as much as I can. Like I love just going to new places and meeting these people and being surprised sometimes by like showing up to a place across the country where you have like a group of people like singing your songs to you and you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like I'm at that level right now where it's just like, sometimes I'm surprised, sometimes I know where I'm going and I have a following, you know, and
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. It's like it boosts you up a little bit and goes, keep doing what you're doing. It's going, you're doing good, you know. It's just a little like words are hard today, but it's
Yes.
it's affirming.
Yeah.
It's an affirmation.
Affirmation. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. Pulled that one.
You did
out.
great.
So we've got a lot of festivals this year. We're going to Oregon Jamboree first weekend of August, next weekend.
Yeah.
Whoa. And then and then we've got a couple shows, couple casino shows up in Michigan.
Nice.
Close to home, and we'll be in Iowa at the Iowa State Fair.
Nice.
Yeah, and then North Dakota opening for Eli Young Band
Awesome.
at the Cheyenne Stampede. We'll be in Maryland and Detroit the next weekend. I mean, we're literally Maryland to Washington State. Washington's the last weekend. We're doing Farm Jam out there, which is like a newer festival.
Yeah.
But I think they've got like, I can't remember which has which. Oregon Jamboree is like Co Wetzel and Craig Morgan, I want to say. And Farm Jam, I'd have to check on that. But I'm just like excited to be doing these artist
Any,
sets,
full
dude.
band stuff in town? Nashville?
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, we play Broadway whenever we're not on the road.
Yeah.
And we've been
Keep
playing,
the chops up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, dude,
Keep the boys paid.
I'm gonna tell you right now, people will say there's some kind of weird thing about playing Broadway, which I get to an extent. I don't want to be like, that's not what I want to do.
The hard
right?
part is that's such good money that it's hard to leave.
Yeah, and I
That's what
totally
people
get that.
say.
And but using it to your advantage as an artist, I mean, I landed playing at Garth Brooks.
So great.
A promoter saw me there and had me come down to Florida for a festival in April, and we direct supported Scotty McCreery for a couple thousand people. It was great.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not all.
No.
You know, it's not all what like some people are very like
Anti.
Broadway,
Yeah.
and it's like no, dude. It's like if you use it to your advantage, you
Right.
can. I go down there, dude. I play my originals.
Yeah.
You know, I might even start running tracks down there, honestly, and just really like you do it the way you want to do it, and I've narrowed it down to now I'm playing at the places that I want to play.
Yeah. You're playing at all the best bars.
Yeah, Old Red, Dirks
Yeah.
Bentley's,
Yep.
Friends in Low Places. Friends in Low Places is incredible.
I've only
nice,
been in there
man.
one time.
So I think we were one of the first bands to start playing there in December, and like before they had their grand opening.
Yeah.
And then Garth and Trisha.
So crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude! So I remember the girl who booked us. She called me one day. It was like 2 weeks before the grand opening. She's like, "Hey, just want to let you know, or like see if you're down for this. Garth wrote a song for the bar, and they want you to perform it at the grand opening, like for Garth and Trisha." And I was like,
Yeah.
just filled
Isn't
my
it not?
shit,
Isn't it
dude.
not just friends in low places?
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I need to go change my shorts.
Yeah.
I'll call you back.
Change your speedo. You mean? What? So what's the tune like?
Oh, it's very commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's good. It's very let me see, it's like, it's all good, it's all right, everybody in the joint having fun tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like super. I was very directed towards that, but like, and when I first heard it, I can't lie, I was like, this is a little goofy, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like, I get it. And when we played it, it was electric.
Yeah.
Everybody in there, like they had him, you know, Garth came out, he like shook all of our hands, said thanks for doing this, and then he like grabbed the mic from me, was telling the crowd, hey guys, like when he says this, like I want you to do this, and the whole crowd was just like into it.
Going nuts.
Garth and Trisha
Right
are
there.
standing right there. I think I blacked out. I don't remember actually playing the song.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I did until I saw it on Prime Video like
Yeah.
a few weeks later. I was like, oh, that was actually that
what?
was pretty good. Yeah.
Video?
Dude,
Yeah.
so Amazon Prime was there. So we show up. It might have been the day before, or the day of.
sick.
Yeah, it was super cool. Well, and I'm thinking the same girl. Her name's Khaki. She was the one that was kind of like running things, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Hey, I need you and the guys to sign some waivers. We're having Prime Video come in for the documentary." And I was like,
SAG-AFTRA checks.
"Like this thing just keeps getting. It just keeps getting like."
Even cooler.
Oh my gosh, dude,
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Like, we're learning Gar's song to play it. I'm nervous as hell. Like, I mean, this is nerve-wracking as it gets.
Oh, and for video, and Garth and Trisha are there.
So they
Grand
used
opening.
they used the board mix
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, straight up used it. And I was thinking we'd maybe just get like a flash of us here or there, like we'd kind of be in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, they were full on like 2.5 minutes of us like playing the song for the crowd.
That's
And I was like,
amazing.
Corinne and I watched it at like 1 a.m. one night when it came out, just like crying, like this is so cool.
Dude, that's
But-
badass, man. Congrats
So-
again.
Yeah, thank you, dude. That and like just that right there says all I need to say about that place. Is
Yeah.
like they are so about the artist. It's like they're so accommodating. They take such good care of us, like financially, and just they make sure that like everyone's having a good time and it's all good vibes. Like that's like their biggest thing. So I am like really blessed to be there. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was considering like trying to really get off Broadway, and then I got offered that, and I was like, this is fun.
All right.
This feels good.
Yeah.
And that's, there's I've played a lot of bars down there that don't give a shit
Yeah.
about the artist. And it's like, go do it and cut your teeth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got to.
Well,
Got to
and
get
that's
out
how
there.
you can keep the boys enough money that you can keep them too.
Right.
You know.
I like my guys.
Yeah.
And it's good that I can give them that work to
Yes.
to stay with me. Because, I mean, they have to.
They gotta
seek
pay their
other-
bills, too.
Yeah. So I get it, and it's nothing against them, but you got to do what you got to do, and so it's nice to have that option to keep up, on what we're doing, keep your chops up when
Yep.
we're not on the road.
It's
and
like
now
getting
I'm
paid to practice.
dude, exactly, and
You
that's
know?
actually I didn't really look at it that way until recently, especially with this tour coming up.
Yeah.
Like I've got some new guys kind of coming in and out that
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying out, and because somebody can't, they got to sub out or whatever, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well I'll throw them on this Wednesday at Whiskey Row, and we'll run all my originals in that 3-hour set and
Yeah.
paid rehearsal.
There it
Sick.
is. Yeah.
So that
Because usually you have to pay to rent a space to rehearse.
Yep.
You're like,
Exactly.
just do it while we're drinking.
yeah, dude.
Then I know you can.
Yeah. And it's like it's actually like once I like shifted my mindset of like what to do with Broadway,
Yeah.
I'm I was like getting pretty down on myself.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know why I just like built it up in my head. Like this is obviously I don't really want to be playing 3-hour sets anymore. I've done it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, since the old school acoustic days when I was like in my early 20s, you know, back home.
A Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, exactly, dude. For 10 people.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm to the point now where, but if you're gonna do it, that's the place to do it.
Yes.
You know.
And you can make good money doing it
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah,
You know,
you
like,
can't take that away.
we know our buddies that have left good touring gigs
Yep.
because they couldn't not make the money that they were making
sure.
down there. You
Yeah.
know,
And
It's-
you're not the only artist that struggles with that.
nah, bro. That's,
Yeah.
that's right.
Even the ones that we've had on this podcast.
Yeah,
For sure, man. And I think it was just, I feel good about it now.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
and
good.
I still am working toward, you know, like I would like to get a pub deal.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate goal for me.
Yeah.
That would get me off of Broadway and be able to focus more on something related to the artistry.
Yeah.
Like writing,
yeah,
obviously. So it's like nothing against it at all. I'll never say anything bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I cut my teeth and it made me the performer that I am. You know
That's
what I'm
the
saying?
other
Like the
thing.
stage presence.
Yeah.
And being able to connect with a crowd. Huge, dude.
Yep.
Like it blows my mind seeing guys get like picked off of social media platforms and signed to a label and thrown on a main stage.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Whoa.
God bless you, dude.
Yeah.
like I almost feel
Tough.
bad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like you know, some people would be quick to kind of talk shit, and I kind of look at it like I would hate that.
Yeah.
That would suck. And obviously they get there.
Yeah.
At some point, but
Which
I'm
is a different
really,
route.
Yeah.
You're
and-
doing it in front of people instead of in front of drunk people. You know.
yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that, you know, this is the path that I've taken
Yeah.
because I know like when it happens, I'm going to be ready.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yep.
I'll be prepared. So nothing bad about it. But I'll be at Garth's this Friday actually. Yeah, we're usually there a Friday or Saturday when we're off the road. So
God bless.
August we're going to be
Bumping on the road though.
yeah, it's going to be cool.
Well, I'm excited to get to see another Jason Cross show, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
I need
love
to
you,
come.
brother.
I've only been to Garth's once with Nick,
Yeah, we went there
and
and,
it was a
saw
DJ set.
Vavo.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in about 6 weeks
When we're all back.
when I'm back there.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not in town on this Friday. Or
Yeah,
I'd love to
I'm in
come.
Michigan. Yeah.
Dude,
Midland.
I was gonna say something. I have to get on that.
Dude, yeah. We got to
Yeah.
Have you played Cruisins?
No,
That might be the start.
I
We'll
think
see
so,
if we can
too.
get you at Cruisins.
I know Wayne.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
a cool
that's the
dude.
move.
Love
They're
Wayne.
great.
Yeah.
They're awesome people, and they love music, and they love the rock country crossover too.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that's the move is like get them to see you at Cruisins, and then
Yep.
which would be
What is
great for you too.
Cruisins?
Cruisins is the club that they run in Illinois.
Peoria.
Oh.
Yeah, Peoria.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of country acts there.
Okay.
So like Ella's playing there. Josh Ross played there. Gavin.
I'm sure. Has it been around for a while? I probably
yeah.
played
It
it
has.
when.
Yeah.
Because I played Peoria.
Yep.
It's
With
kind of
Jam.
like a Coyote Joe's of
Yeah.
Charlotte.
It's like a
Like
honky
that.
tonk.
Yeah.
Like their honky tonk up
Like
there.
8 Second Saloon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But it's a great club, and they have a good ear for talent.
Yeah.
Clayton's played there before.
He played Tailgates this year.
Yeah. But he's also played Cruisins, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that might be the move because then they'll see you because they're there all the time too, of course.
For
you
sure.
know?
And if any publishers are listening,
Yeah.
give our guy a call.
Jason's looking for a pub deal.
Listen
I'd be writing.
Yeah.
I'd be out here writing.
You can listen to our podcast with Chris Owen if you want to learn more about publishing.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I met Chris last night.
Chris is great.
Wait, does he do Lakeview?
No. Chris,
Oh.
different Chris.
Yep.
Chris Owen, Kornman. He's with Kornman Publishing, and
James.
yeah, but he was like in radio for a long time before that. He just moved to town pretty recently.
Okay.
Really
Nice.
smart guy.
Jason's gonna go listen to the pod, so you can learn
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. No spoilers.
Yeah. Save for the pod that already happened. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
But dude, thanks for hopping on the pod with
Thanks
us.
for having me, man.
Absolutely
It's
appreciate
great.
it.
Yeah.
And thanks for being you, dude. We love you.
I love you too, man. Thanks, boys.
Dude, thanks for coming in.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Cheers. And drinking a delicious Surfside, even though it's slightly little or early in the day.
Mine's slightly empty.
Yeah.
Surfing on a Tuesday.
Well, guys, I'm Nicky T.
I'm Kurt Ozan. and
I'm
we'll
Jason Cross.
Oh yeah, and then we'll see you on the front row.
Yeah.